But I want to move on. Final topic to talk about is Gen 3. Because, Jack, we're looking at fast charging. Fast charging seems to be the story, as Dilbag Gill put it to me, of Gen 3. You know, Gen 1 was about speed, Gen 2 was about battery and range. Gen 3 story is looking like it's going to be about fast charging, and it could completely change the way we watch, the way we view Formula E. At the moment, everything is up in the air because we could have smaller batteries, we could have pit stops during races, not just one pit stop, two pit stops, the race length could change. Anything is possible going into Gen 3, Jack.
Well, yeah, I think we've spoken about it on the show in terms of like what kind of layout we want it to be. We don't really want a race that's over 1 hour in length. So that mean that might mean that we're going to have a lot quicker cars that they might be able to run. Maybe not at 350 may stay in qualify for qualifying mode, but maybe race mode will be something like 325 or something like that. We just don't know yet. I know for certain that that they are just going to really shake up everything in terms of the layout. Well, that's what we've heard. But yeah, it is going to be really interesting. Formula E might just completely change from the end of whenever Gen 2 or Gen 2 Evo is finishing. I hope we're still getting Gen 2 Evo before we head to Gen 3. But yeah, whenever Gen 3 is, maybe that's 2 or 3 or 4 years time. It will be a lot quicker. It will be a lot more exciting. And yeah, maybe have the pit lane as like a fast charging bit, so they have to do one kind of drive-through penalty style thing during some point in the race, so they can actually fast charge it to the end. But yeah, regardless, it's looking like fast charging is the thing for Gen 3, and it's going to be very, very exciting regardless.
So what we're looking at here is a 30-second pit stop, basically. That's what they're thinking. 30 seconds to come in and recharge the battery, and away you go, you've got full charge again. It's, as I said, it will completely change the way, if they go with that. And there is potential, like Dilbag was saying, there is a potential that they don't use it in the race. It might be used in qualifying for some reason, or it might be used elsewhere. But it can completely shake up the way Formula E is watched and is viewed across the world.
Yeah, it's super exciting. And I think that the ability to have quicker cars that can run quickly for longer is a huge opportunity for Formula E. And, the more this happens, the more they get rid of these kind of slightly unfavourable comparisons with other motorsport, which I think are really unfair. And I'm sure they do as well, but I think also if they can build a quicker car that can run quicker for longer, they'll be really keen on doing that. One thing that I am open to is I don't think we want to go above an hour, like Jack said, but also I like the idea of an hour-long race with one pit stop. I think that this will bring a really interesting energy management side to things as well. Maybe you push really hard at the start, try and pit early, and then kind of try and eke out your second stint. Maybe we're going to see people kind of really trying to run long and then go really fast at the end. It's going to bring some new strategy elements in, which will be really interesting. So yeah, if they can get to a situation where you can charge fully in 30 seconds, then the possibilities for newer strategy elements are really interesting. I think attack mode is really great, but also an imperfect solution at the moment. And, we see in Diriyah this year, for example, kind of some of the flaws with attack mode and some of the kind of misunderstandings around the interpretation of the rules. So, if we get this new strategy element, it could be really interesting. And personally, the idea of quicker cars that can run for longer, for slightly kind of longer races in terms of time, is really exciting to me.
Yeah, as I said, the potential is endless for this. The potential is absolutely endless, and it'd be amazing to see what happens, because obviously if they don't have to build a big battery to last 45 minutes, the batteries get smaller, the cars get lighter, therefore they're faster just naturally. So it would just be absolutely amazing. But one thing I want to clarify, Jack, because we've talked about this before, and I've got Dilbag to clarify this for me. So we're going into a 2-year cycle now, powertrain wise, to finish Gen 2. Now, Dilbag he was saying that he would prefer the hardware to continue in a 2-year cycle, even going into Gen 3, because we've sort of reached peak hardware technology at this precise moment, whereas we can still do things with software that can really, get the best out of the hardware. But in terms of actually building a powertrain, from year on year, there isn't actually much gain you can make, but you can make all the gain on the software. So he was like, 2-year cycle can continue. But what I want to understand and make clear is that teams that are making, like Mahindra, Tech Cheetah, who are making a new powertrain for Season 7, will keep that for Season 8. But anyone who decides to stick with their Season 6 powertrain going into Season 7, and then make their new powertrain in Season 8, will only use it in that Season 8 season, in the 8th season, because in the 9th season, that's when we change to Gen 3. So if whoever sticks with their powertrain for Season 6, they will only get use of the brand new homologated power unit in Season 8. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think, I would have thought that some of the teams that have had done really well, in this year, teams like Cheetah would have maybe kept it for another year. They haven't actually. They are going to make a new thing for Season 7. But yeah, no, I reckon that we will see quite a few teams make new things for Season 7, and then maybe the odd team here and there do one for Season 8 or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's just the software development. I think we might see a lot of teams actually make powertrains, brand new powertrains for this season, and then just, Dilbag Gil says the competition won't stale. That was our, thing that we were a bit, will the competition just stop? Because, you must be a certain point where you can't develop that car. But he said, no, the amount of technology that we can use on software, even with a powertrain that's a year old, is substantial. We can still actually make the series, and you can still actually move forward or move backwards.
Yeah, I can see why that's a concern from a kind of fan journalist perspective. There's a reason that we kind of want to see these evolutions. We want to see the order changing. We don't want to see kind of huge gaps building between the front and the back. But he's rightly saying, there are a huge amount of things you can do. You see the difference between two teams that use the same powertrain, and there can be huge differences. So there's obviously a lot they can do, as you said, with software, with setup, with everything. So I don't think it's too much of a concern. I guess the one thing is, if you get teams forced into maybe using the same powertrain for kind of 3 years, which you could, if they don't want to invest, if they're using the same powertrain as they are this season for the next 2 years, that could be a bit of a worry. But I think that we shouldn't be worried too much about the idea of the running order becoming stale, because there's a lot you can do in terms of the software.